So beginning with the background, I'll start with by removing the background of the background color that was default included. So I'll now throw in an image. So I'll go back to Pixel Bay and then maybe I'll select a meeting image. So to re-emphasize on what Andrew said, do remember to check that there is no charges for commercial use. So I want to maybe select the first image, take a look at the right side, Pixel Bay license. This is where you can actually see whether there's a requirement to actually credit the photographer, there's any royalties involved, fees involved, charges involved. So yeah. Now I'll go ahead and copy the image address, go back straight to my page, drop in the link, insert the image. Okay, now that the image is inside, right, I will need to follow, like extend it so that it will fit the entire top header. So, okay, before I continue, right, this is actually a parallax effect. So if you guys recall how, just now how Elementor worked, right, there's this woman that was being fixed in a position, and when I scroll, right, you can see the picture being like in a moving motion. So having it in parallax effect, right, it has the same idea in which the image is being fixed in a certain location, and when the user move around, they will see the image moving. But for now, I won't be using that. Okay, so now I'll just continue with fixing the size of the image. So now I have the size of the image. I can adjust by dragging the size of the entire module. Maybe I need to be longer at the top, maybe 100. Another way, if for those of you who can't really drag it or you can't really see the small pixel indication at the top, what you can do is go straight into your settings. Go under design, scroll down to find the word spacing. Under spacing, you can adjust the entire size of your image, not really image, by editing your padding. So assuming I want it to be 150 and 150. So it'd be like this. So now back to adjusting the content and the design of it. I'll start with the header. So design, layout, centralized, text title, which is the header itself. Select the font that you want to use. For me, I'll be using Poppins. Font weight, I will play with bold. And maybe I will make it what? Okay, sorry to mention this, but I just realized that I missed out a step, which is that I forgot to make the overlay of the image. If you guys realize, right, this image is darker than the one that I just found, is because I actually included overlay on it. So for those of you who want to actually who can't really find a darker image that will give a good blend to your white text, you can actually do this similar step. First of all, you go back to your background, find the tab beside the picture, which is gradient. So now all you need to do is add a gradient. So how do you add a gray gradient, right? It's actually very simple. You just select two light colors of light version of black. So for example, I will just drag the black down to something like 28. As you can see, 25. So this is a color code that you can use. And then following that, you can select a slightly darker black. So you can actually make a somewhat of a overlay of a shadow. another lighter version of the black. And afterwards, you will just need to adjust the amount of coverage you want it to have over your image itself. Scrolling down, you will see gradient type, liner. Select the starting position of the gradient you want to see, and then just adjust it accordingly so that you can see that the image turn darker. You can see that, but do remember to turn this on because this will actually show that your color is overlaying. So you can now play around with the percentage to see which percentage is more suitable for your image. And then assuming you're satisfied with the current version, all you need to do is just click the tick and you'll be saved. So now my words are more clear as compared to the previous version. So now back to editing the content itself. I will now need to work on the text. So going to text, body text, select a font for it. Assuming I'm going to use popping still. Then regular, maybe you want it to be centered, and white. And now I'm done. I'll now move on to the buttons. So starting the first button, I want it to be red. So select yes for custom styles. The size of the button, maybe 18 pixels. White text, red background, similar to one on the top. I don't want the white border, so what I can do is under button 1 border width, just select 0 pixels, and then the border will be gone. Yep. And maybe later on you will want to have the button font. For example, I want it to be Poppins or so. Capitalized and maybe bold or semi-bold. And then maybe you want to include an icon. For example, a pen. And you include the icon color. And for those of you who want to see the icon before the person even clicks on it, what you can do is click on this only show button on hover. You just click no, and it will appear on it. However, with that being said, right, you have to adjust the length of the button because the length of the button currently only fits the text. So now you need to go to the margin and actually play around with the padding. So the usual padding I use is 20, 40, which fits the icon and text just right. And for the top and bottom, you can choose to also include 20, 20. Maybe you won't want to have the radius. If you don't want the button to be curved, right, all you need to do is similar to the border width. You just click 0 for the border radius. And your button will be a proper square or rectangle, I say. So now that I'm done with my first button, I will replicate my second button in the same settings. So under second button, I will select yes, custom set styles. And similar size. For now, I'll put black background. Remove the border. Remove the radius. And select the font and the font type. The basic idea around this, right, is actually to, like I said previously at the start of the entire session, right, the most important thing is to stay consistent. So as you can see, right, whenever I select a font, like what I'm doing right now, Poppins, I'll stick Poppins throughout because it's not good if you use way too different font. So for those of you who like to have different type of writings in a certain web page, right, what I can recommend to you is to actually select 2 to 3 similar or suitable fonts that blend in with each other. And from there, you can actually play around with those 3 and try not to go out of 3. Because if you have too much different font types, even your visitors and users will find it visually too overwhelming. So do remember to take note on that. So assuming buy, I will put a tick. And then I'll select the icon, white, remove the hover, show on hover. Then I'll adjust the padding right now, 2040 and 2020. 2040, 2020. Yeah, and we are done. So as you can see, right, now it looks like a replica of the one at the top. So the idea is actually to have this type of section, right? It's actually very commonly found at the bottom of the page and at the top of the page. So if you were to go to see like even the top companies such as maybe Nike, they will have similar images or similar full images on maybe a few of their pages, because this is a very common tactic to use on web designing. So this is something I teach, so that I hope in the future, maybe when you interact with web designing, it will come in handy for you to use. So for this part, I'll show you guys how to actually play around with the different text box and how to actually create good spacing between each modules to actually create a good overall view. So actually all these are separate modules itself. It's just that I position them like in a way where it displays it in a very formal manner. So now I'll just delete the one at the bottom and replicate a similar version at the top. I'll delete this section and I'll start it from scratch and try to replicate this with the right settings. So now I will just go ahead and delete this, and I'll insert a new section. Sorry for the delay, the internet a bit slow here. Add in a regular section. So when I click here, right, I will have similar choice to Elementor. I will have different numbers of column. So as you can see at the top, it's actually just 1 to 2 columns. So I'll just start with 2 columns. So now the first module that I'll be using is image. Because as you can see, the first part is actually an image itself. So now I have selected image. All I need to do is include an image for myself to actually create the section. So insert URL. So for this, right, I will not be going to Pixelbay because I already have the image prepared, which is this. So now I will go ahead and drop the URL in. And that's very simple, right? It's done basically. So this is how you can actually add an image. Okay, so before I continue, right, I will show you guys how to actually upload an image. For those of you who have personally, like if you have your own certain set of image that you're interested to have, right, or to include it in your website, you can go ahead and click on the setting and then click upload. And from there, you can actually select any images that are in your desktop files. Yeah. So with that being said, I'll move on to the second part, which is to create a small section for the contact number. So now this is actually quite simple. So what you need to do is first click on a new module and start a blurb. So a blurb is basically a simple module that allows you to include an icon, a title, and a text. So let me show you an image, a title, and a text. This image can be an icon also. So yeah. you might want to play with. This is a very useful module, I would say. So to begin with, I'll start with for contact. Then I'll add in a random phone number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now that I'm done, I will now actually include the icon here. Sorry. For those of you who want to use an icon, right, you need to click on yes. So it will change itself to an icon. So assuming I'm using it for contact, right, I will want to find a mobile icon. So for some of you who can't see, right, the mobile icon is actually here, but it's because it's not currently white. So or I have to refresh it sometimes. Whenever you add an icon, right, it requires you to refresh the page for some reason. So that's something you might want to take note. You don't have to assume that the icon is missing. It's just the page itself is not really able to include the icon from the first attempt. So you might want to just refresh the page after you are done with that module or done with that section. So I'll finish up this section before I refresh the page. So now that I add the icon, I just need to make sure that the alignment is right. So I go into design, select the white icon. The placement, I want it to be on the left of my text. So I click left. And I will have to include a background of black. So let me go ahead and include a black background. And now I have to adjust the size of this by including a padding. So I'll include 10 or maybe even 20. And maybe 10 on each side. Okay, now I just need to edit the text. So starting with the title text, which is for contact, I will use the same exact font that I've been using, which is Poppins. And maybe adjust the font weight to medium. And I'll leave it as white. Similarly, for my body text, I'll do the same font. And the body text. I'll leave it as bold. And maybe I want my number to be bigger because it's more important to have them to contact me. So maybe I want it to be 20. Okay, now that I'm done with my section, right, I might want to refresh my page to actually see whether the icon is there. So I'll save it for now and I'll refresh my page. Sometimes this happens, so you don't have to worry that the icon is not appearing. So it will take some time to restore the changes you have just made. Okay, now let's take a look at the changes we have made. Now, as you can see, the icon is there. So you will notice the icon is smaller. So what you can do is actually adjust the icon. So we go design, sizing, content. You can just adjust the icon to the size that you would like. Maybe 85 will be fine, or maybe 75. Yep, 75 will be fine. So this is how you actually get the icon and the words together. So now moving on, right, I'll show you guys how to actually highlight a text. So what do I mean by highlight a text? So you can see the who are we now, right, at the top. So I'll show you guys how to actually create a simple background for your to highlight a certain text or to create a small box for your text. So first we can start with text. And change the text to who we are. And now I go straight into design. Under text, adjust the font to your liking. And then afterwards, I'll include a background so that it creates a effect of a highlighted text. So I want it to be semi-bold. Maybe all caps. Text to be white. Go right back to content, change the background to red. Okay, now you see, right, that the content is currently highlighted, but it's like in a very ugly manner. So what you need to do is actually play around with the sizing of the spacing of the actual module itself. So under spacing, right, I can have it to be like 10, maybe 10 at the bottom also, 10 on the right, 10 on the left also. Okay, so now I'll go back to my sizing to actually create the effect that it fits the text just right. So now I just need to minimize slowly until I find it suitable for my text. Okay, maybe I'll leave it at the 23. So this is how you create a highlighted text. Okay, now moving on, right, I'll show you guys how to make use of the different head titles, the different settings on your text to create header 1, header 2, and header 3. Like, what's the purpose of actually using that? Like I mentioned during the header part, right, the header 1 to header 6 is actually a very useful tool. So I'll showcase to you how you can actually make use of it. So first of all, you have to create text. So now I will copy the text at the top. So we are digital and creative, followed by design trainings. Okay, so now, right, I have created the 3 different sections, which is our main content, sub header, and our header. So first, I'll start with my first header. So I can name it header 1 maybe. Then the second one, I'll highlight it and label it header 2. So from there, right, I can go into my design. Under heading text, you can see that there's six options. So I can just edit it individually in different options. So my header 1, right, I'm referring to the text we are digital and creative. So now from there, I'll edit the words itself. So I'll start with Poppins. Sorry, I'll stick with bold. And maybe I want it to be 35. Wait, 35. Now I'll go to my second part. Sorry, I accidentally closed the tab. So going back to the same part, heading text. Now I will start with the heading 2 instead of heading 1. So heading 2 is design training. So I'll select the same font, make it ultra bold this time. Maybe I want it to be red. And then I might want it to be bigger, for example, 40. And last but not least, I'll edit my text, which is called the normal text. So I don't have to go into the heading text. Go to the normal text and I'll just edit it from there. Okay, so for looking at the time now, right, I will just end off the day by showing you guys how to create a simple button. So I will end off the day by creating a button. So the button is actually to create this limo button. So the button is actually a very simple tool. So all you need to do is make sure that you have a clear idea how you want the button to look like. Because the button feature is not very complex or complicated. So all you need to do is to ensure that the button blends in well with your overall layout. So assuming I want it to be black, I mean the text to be white and the background to be black. So I can just go ahead and do that. I don't want it to have any border, so I remove the border width. I want it to have a radius, so I'll keep the radius. And I'll add the font, which is Poppins also. And maybe leave it at medium. And then from there, I might want to add in a symbol, an icon instead. Have it to be white. Don't want it to be on hover, so which means that it will be shown here directly. And last but not least, I'll just adjust the spacing. So I will want to have it bigger because the icon doesn't fit in the size, in the text itself. So maybe 10 at the top, 10 at the bottom. 20, 40. Yeah, so this is how it will look like in the end. So for the learn more button, right, for instance, you want it to link to your product, right, so that people can learn more about your product, right? So you just click on the gear, on the settings. Under the second part, you can just include a link to your product page or to a certain form for them to fill in, or even another page that offers more comprehensive information regarding your product. Yeah. So with that, this is all I got for today. For the following upcoming Wednesday training, I'll go through more regarding Divi and also show you guys another plugin that is a add-on to Divi, which is called Divi Supreme. Yeah. On Wednesday, I'll be going through more on that. And also Google Ads on Wednesday. I'll be also touching on how to actually set up Google Ads from scratch and what are the pointers to take note of on Wednesday. Yeah. So with that, I'll end off today's session. So I'll pass it on to Andrew and see if he got anything to share with you guys. Yeah. Hello, Andrew. If you have anything to share, you can go and share now. If not, yeah.
Yeah, hi guys. The first day, right, who have not practiced WordPress.com yet? For the first day, there's supposed to be some homework, right? So can I know who have not uh practiced on the WordPress.com? Okay, so cooking you have not done it, right? Who else? Who else have not? Okay, your you'll be quite a waste if you have not done it because uh if you actually don't know how to use a C panel, right, you will feel very lost. Whatever we have taught these 5 days is going to be down the drain. Yeah, I guarantee. I'm sure that the following Monday, right, you want to do something, you forgot everything. Then if I want to ask you to go and watch video, you will think that Korean drama is better than watching 3 hours of me talking or Xiaolong talking because we are not dramatic or not entertaining enough. So seriously, I mean, you all have put in time, so go and practice. Yeah, at least you get some high idea. So even now you're not working on your website, right? Next time when you revisit because you have done it, you have hands on, right? You will this help you to recall something, but you have not tried anything, and then you just let this week go by, right? It's going to be totally waste of time. Okay, then I think Xiaolong just now should have told you all, right? If you are going to buy DV, go ahead and buy a DV, whether it's an annual subscription or the one-time subscriptions. Um, Otherwise, right, you can use the free plugin. I think he have demonstrated the free plugin. I wasn't there just now, but I'm sure he did the plugin of the animator. I think, yeah. So
Elementor.
yeah, animator. So that one actually at least can give you a try. Yeah. So consider doing that. Okay. Um. Uh. For Wednesday, right? Uh. We will actually have to ask you some questions because I want to see whether how are y'all coping with the WordPress installations and also the using the plugin. Yeah. So go and have a hands-on. You'll be good really. You can really make a name or make a lot of money from doing that now. Because government is actually encouraging a lot of people to start doing website. So today even you go and start up a business to do website design, I'm sure their company self-employed, they want to ask you to help them to set up. So you can actually make money from here also. I'm not kidding. Yeah. And now we are not charging you. So all the more, then you should actually channel your effort to try it out. So even to be honest, even if you pay the plugin yourself, it's still very cheap because you're not paying for cost fee. Outside, right, I think WordPress lessons easily, a lot of them charging, I think, $500, $800. Maybe we are not as good as them, yeah. But you don't have to pay $500, $800, yeah. So really do spend time on it. Yeah, it's for you. I don't get anything. You practice or not, you succeed or not, I don't get anything, right? Yeah. So I think that's all. Yeah. So go and do these two homeworks. Okay. Okay. So long.
Hi,
That's all for me.
Andrew.
Yeah.
For WordPress, right? So I actually managed to get on the site that we're able to try on. But then when I want to like install plugins, they say I have to upgrade to a business plan. So do I just upgrade?
Oh yes, yes. You mean the WordPress.com ah?
Mm.
Okay, true. Yeah. WordPress.com is a profit organization. It's not a non-profit organization. So you want to install, right? They will ask you to pay money. Business means they want to ask you to pay money lah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I gotta pay to at
No,
the
Kalisa, since you're working for me, right? I already have the pay version, so I can use it. You can use mine. Yeah, we will get in
okay.
touch with you. Yeah, yeah,
Uh, Andrew, for those that Andrew will be providing on, right?
yeah,
I already prepared the account for you and also help you install Divi, so you can go ahead and use it lah. After Andrew share with you the resources.
yeah.
Yep, you don't have to worry about that.
Hopefully tomorrow you'll have some time to practice. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Anyone have questions? So did Shalom tell you all that the Divi is actually the top plugin, and it also has, I mean, with so many people downloading, I think 1.3 million people use it. The Divi, there's no free one, right? 1.3 million people using it, and is everyone give 5 star? No, everyone. So this Divi is actually very good, although it's not cheap, but this Divi is actually very good. Yeah, with 1.3 million paying, and then they still give 5 star. Because sometimes you pay more, you complain more actually. Of course, free one people also complain lah. Yeah. Okay. If not, I will see you on Wednesday. Okay, not tomorrow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye
Good
bye.
night. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.